Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Champion Cycle. On this episode, we decided we're going to show you guys how to stretch a motorcycle. The basics with a bolt-on kit is what we're going to be doing in this video. So a lot of you guys see these bolt-on extension kits that bolt to your factory swing arm on eBay and on a couple more reputable sites, but they're online. They're very easy to install, super user-friendly. We figured we'd show you guys exactly how to install it step by step. We bolted on the extensions, we added our longer chain, we added a longer brake line, we bled the rear brake, we adjusted our chain, locked the wheel down, lowered the rear of the bike, we lowered the front to match. At the very end, we cut our kickstand so the bike will have a nice lean. And that's pretty much it, guys. It's pretty straightforward. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Champion Cycle. On today's episode, we're going to show you how to stretch your motorcycle with bolt-on extensions. There's two ways to stretch your motorcycle, basically a full swing arm or bolt-on extensions. Obviously, a bolt-on extensions is a much more affordable, i.e. cheaper way of doing it. It's more basic and it's a lot simpler for a lot of you street guys that just want the look and just want the enjoyment without going crazy on the budget. We use an LRC extension. We don't use the eBay knockoff type replica made with a cheaper grade aluminum, any of that type of nonsense. I mean, this is your life, you know what I mean? So we use an LRC bolt-on extension. They're bulletproof. We've had guys going 8 seconds with these extensions and never once had a problem. We use a Goodrich braided line. We use Goodrich, Galfer, Spiegler, right? Whatever we can get our hands on. I mean, a braided brake line is a braided brake line. Vortex lowering links, you can never go wrong with a Vortex lowering link. It ain't gonna snap on you or break. The chain, we actually used an RK 150 link rather than a EK 150 link, and the reason being the RK was a lot less money and the tensile strength was more than the EK equivalent. This is not a Z-Link dry link drag chain. This is a Street X-Ring 150 link chain. We went with the gold color because it'll match with the gold wheels on the bike. Stay tuned guys, you're gonna like this and we're gonna go into some more details. We grabbed one of our techs that's never done a stretched bike before. He's used to working on V-twins and older Hondas and Yamahas and so on and so on. He's never actually done a stretch. So we figured he's the perfect candidate to show you guys exactly how simple it can be for any of you guys that have never done it yourself. So he'll be just as new as you guys, and you'll see me in the video time to time coming over and pointing at him what to do and kind of like what we would be doing with you guys through using this video as a reference. Once the bolt-on extension kit is installed, we're going to be lowering the motorcycle rear and front, possibly cutting the kickstand. You can see the bike is on the kickstand, but it's literally standing up almost perfectly straight, which means the right gust of wind, anything, this bike is like, just watch. Look at the bike with a little push.
Oh, so sketchy.
It wants to fall over, look.
Yeah, sketchy.
So we're just gonna cut the kickstand rather than him buying a billet stand. And that little kick pad here at the bottom. So we'll cut the kickstand roughly here. Then I'll trim this off. And then I'll go ahead and I'll weld this base right back up there. Bob's your uncle. Once all said and done, we are going to install trusty power commander. All right guys, so what you've seen so far is my man Jose here has removed the factory adjusters. He's installed the new blocks. You're going to want to use good red Loctite. I know the blocks are aluminum, but you're going to want to use good red Loctite. None of that blue Mamma Jamma. Use the red Loctite. Both extensions are on, as you guys can see. We've gone ahead and changed our factory length rubber brake line with a steel braided. We actually used a Goodrich line, but any line will do. It's a steel braided extended brake line that'll allow for the extra length we're gonna have now in our swing arm. The total length, of course, because we're just using extensions. He's also, as you saw, he's pulled the new chain through the old chain. So you saw the little zip tie trick he did there. He does that so we don't have to take the whole front sprocket cover and all that nonsense off. Just makes the job go a little quicker. So as you guys can see, we got our chain laying where it needs to be. We got our brake line on, we got our extensions on, we got a new tire being balanced right now that y'all are gonna see is gonna be getting ready to get mounted soon. Now the next step is gonna be, we're gonna lower the bike. We're gonna add in our lowering linkage now. So the rear will already have its lowering done. We're gonna go ahead and mount the tire, crimp the chain, lots of other good stuff. Stay with us, guys. So guys, the pros and cons of stretching your motorcycle as opposed to not stretching. This is the biggest debate that I see on these little forum trolls and all these little haters, and everybody's going back and forth, stretch this, real men don't stretch, and I would never, and oh, why stretch this bike, and why stretch that? And you know what, guys? At the end of the day, straight up, man, shut your mouth unless you've tried it. It's simple. If you haven't stretched your bike, you can't talk about the guy that has stretched his bike. There's different ways to ride a motorcycle. There's different things to do with a motorcycle. Motorcycles don't only curve, they also go straight. When you ride your motorcycle to the twisties, aren't you driving down the highway straight? Motorcycles are meant to be enjoyable no matter which way you do it. You might stunt it, you might drag race it, you might just cruise to meets, you might be parking lot pimping, you might be dragging a knee track days, you might be racing. There's lots of cool things. You might just have a show bike. Lots of cool things you can do. So again, why stretch your motorcycle? There's pros and cons. You stretch your motorcycle, a lot of guys think you won't be scraping your knee. Yes, you're right. You won't be scraping your knee as much as you were when your bike wasn't stretched. However, this is from experience. I've had 6-inch extensions and 6-inch stretched swing arms on a ZX14 and gone down to Tennessee and North Carolina and came back with both my bellies scraped and my pucks shredded because I'm scraping a knee with a 6-inch extension. So that's all the rider if a guy says they can't scrape a knee with a 6-inch extension. The benefit of the 6-inch extension is, or any extension, is you can smash the throttle open without worrying about it wheeling. You're not fighting the lip while you're having some fun back in the back roads. You can't do that if your bike is not stretched. If your bike is not stretched, you're gonna be fighting the wheelie all the time. You got a lot of new bikes now that have wheelie control, anti-lift, traction, yada yada, all this good stuff helps. But at the end of the day, even with wheelie control and all the rest of that jazz, the wheel still wants to come up and you are still short shifting and the ECU is cutting back time and it's causing delays, i.e. making you slower. So a lot of guys want the extension so they can just hammer down and not have a problem. If you like wheeling, don't put the extensions. But that being said, there is guys, you can see videos of Jason Britton himself on his stretched ZX10 with a Roaring Toys 245 tire kit doing stand-ups in a parking lot. So I mean, you could easily wheelie a stretch bike with some heavy clutch wheelies, but the gist of it is, if you're trying to wheelie, don't stretch your bike. Roll around with a stock wheelbase and have lots of wheelie fun. You want to go crazy carving curves? Don't stretch your bike. You'll be able to whip in and out a little quicker, obviously. If you want to go fast, you can do this with or without a stretch. If you want to hammer down on the highway and not worry about wheeling, go ahead and stretch your bike. If you want to go to the drag strip and hit that killer mile an hour and get the greatest ET you can, stretch your bike. Because on this same bike, unstretched, you're not going to run the time that you're going to run on this bike stretched. So I mean, at the end of the day, there's pros and cons. Some guys also like the look of non-stretched bikes. Some guys like the look of a stretched bike. At the end of the day, guys, you know what mom and pop always say, there's different strokes for different folks. It's pros and cons like anything in life. You guys make the decision on your own, but at the end of the day, guys, don't knock it unless you've tried it. You haven't stretched your bike, don't knock guys that stretch your bike. If you ride around with a stock wheelbase bike and your friend has never ridden a bike unstretched, he can't knock you the same. Try it. Try different things, guys. I invite you guys. Try a sport bike, try a cruiser, try a touring bike, try stunting, try drag racing, try circuit. Get really into motorcycling. Try the different things that motorcycling has to offer. I mean, that's essentially why we stretch this bike. This guy's been riding this bike stock wheelbase for a couple years now, and he decided to stretch it. Try something different. That's what motorcycling is about, guys. Try it all, find what you love, and have a blast. All right, guys, there you have it. This has been how to stretch a bike with extensions. As you guys saw from the time lapse and a couple brief things we talked about, in a nutshell, we added our extension blocks. We've added a brake line that's also extended to match the extension length worth of our extensions. As you can see, the line is about halfway through the end of the extension, there's more line rolled up in here, all nice and clean, so that when the guy does adjust back, it'll just come through nice. We've added a 150 link chain instead of the factory average 120, 118. We also added Vortex lowering links, and we lowered the bike down. We lowered the front just through the use of the triples, and if you saw in the video, we removed the factory snap rings that sit underneath the clip-ons to keep the bike from lowering and to keep the position of the clip-ons. We actually removed that, thus allowing us to just lower the bike through the triple so that it still has an appropriate stance. So if you look at the geometry of the bike, the front is sitting a little lower than the rear, so by the time the rider sits on the bike, it'll even out pretty fairly. You saw in the video, we kind of did a couple other things. We were installing a GPR dampener and removing the factory electronic junk one, and we put a good GPR dampener. We also installed a power commander. This bad boy is sitting right where it is right now because I'm about to roll it on the dyno, and tomorrow we'll wind up going to town on the dyno, and this bad boy is done and ready to go off to Mexico. This is it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, please don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe below. That helps us out and let us know if there's anything else you guys want to see here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Peace, guys. The main thing you guys need to know is use good products. Don't be that guy. You guys want to see what stress looks like? Follow me. This is what stress looks like. Just look at his face. This is the stress. Show the people why he's stressed. Look at poor Ronaldo and his struggles.
Oh, wow.
Okay, come on, let's go.
That's as straight as you, buddy.